CBC Hockey Night in Canada, brought to you by Molson, Canada's name in beer since 1786. Brewers of Molson Canadian Lager Beer. Canadian General Electric, progress for people since 1882. Canadian Tire Dealers with 320 stores to serve you across Canada. And by the Ford Motor Company of Canada, on behalf of your Ford and Mercury dealers from coast to coast. Vying for a berth in the Stanley Cup Final against the Philadelphia Flyers and the Buffalo Sabres and New York Islanders. They began their semifinal in Buffalo. The visiting Islanders skated away with a 4-1 victory, and this was the winning goal. Bill Height giving the puck to Mike Bossy. That made it 2-1, and the Islanders went on to a 4-1 victory. The next night, home ice meant little more than it did in the first game. It went to double overtime, but the Islanders were again the victors. Bob Nystrom scoring, tapping in Bob Lorimer's rebound. And the Islanders took a 2-0 series lead back home to the Nassau County Coliseum, where they extended their margin to 3 games to none. With the help of Lorne Henning's shorthanded goal in the third period, the Islanders in a free-skating 7-4 victory. They were poised to wrap it up in game number 4. And again, it was high scoring. And the Islanders had a 3-1 lead at one point, but that goal by Gilbert Perreault tied the score at 3. And here, Perreault, number 11 for Buffalo, puts the Sabres ahead to stay. It's 4-3 Buffalo, and Perreault completes his hat trick with an empty net goal in the final minute of play. Buffalo remains alive with a 7-4 victory of its own. And the Sabres, with new life, back at Memorial Auditorium for game number 5. The close checking hockey returned. Power play was important. Sabres scored twice with Islanders in the penalty box. This, the first goal and the only goal that the Sabres needed by John Van Boxmeer. Buffalo won it by a score of 2-0 to continue the Sabres comeback. And tonight, it is game number 6 of the semifinals, and here's how the captains feel.
Win against the New York Islanders tonight, the Buffalo Sabres feel they have to play a strong, disciplined game, a good forechecking game, and also play with the same intensity and confidence that we did the last 2 games. If we do all this, we will have a 7th game in Buffalo on Tuesday.
After having won the first 3 games of the semifinal series against the Buffalo Sabres and losing the last 2 to the Buffalo team, we, the Islanders, expect this 6th game to be an outstanding one for us. It is our last game in this building in this series, and we hope that it will be the final game of this series. We're willing and ready to wrap it up.
2 very important players will be watching tonight. Danny Gare of Buffalo, Dennis Potvin of the Islanders. Good evening, everyone. I'm Dave Hodge, and we welcome our Canadian viewers on the Hockey Night in Canada network and those in the United States via the Hughes television network. It's been quite a series so far, 2 very different series as far as who has had the upper hand. The Islanders winning 3, the Sabres coming back with 2. Now let's find out the thoughts on the first 5 games of our play-by-play announcers for tonight, Dan Kelly and Bob Cole.
Bob, it really has been like 2 series in one. First the Islanders, now Buffalo. What's happened?
Can't figure this series, to be quite honest, Dan. Home ice advantage doesn't seem to mean a thing. You would think that these 2 teams, so good at defensive hockey, would have a low-scoring series. It started that way, but then in 2 games, 7-4, 7-4, 22 goals. You can't believe it. I would say that coming into this rink tonight, you would think that home ice would be good for the Islanders. But I have a feeling that Buffalo now, with 2 wins, have the upper hand. They're feeling good. They're on the move. And I do believe that the Islanders will be nervous tonight. It's a wild series. You never know what's going to happen.
You may have a good point. The Sabres have played 2 games under pressure. Now there's a little pressure on the Islanders. Let's find out about tonight's game. Back to Dave and Gary Dornhofer.
Well, at this point, the Islanders have a lot going for them. They have the lead in the series 3-2. They have home ice tonight. They have a much healthier team and a much deeper team as a result. But there's one thing they don't have, and that's psychological advantage. Bob and Dan touched on it. The Sabres have momentum, and they have this thought that maybe they should have been out of it by now, but they're not, and everything else now is gravy. Let's go out and have some fun.
Well, that's right, Dave. If you remember correctly, it was a great feeling when you're up 3-0. Suddenly, the Sabres are doing things a little bit differently. Their power play is now clicking. They're checking better, and suddenly they're back in the hunt. Even though the Islanders are back on home ice, sometimes that can certainly be at a disadvantage. In the Sabres dressing room, there's a lot of looseness out there. The guys feel good about it. They want to get at this. And, of course, in the Islanders dressing room, they're a little shaky.
There's been a criticism of the New York Islanders over the years. It has been that they have not been able to handle pressure. 2 years ago against Toronto in the quarterfinals. Last year in the semifinals against the Rangers. They're starting to hear it again, and we'll find out how they respond. It might be a very important key to this game and ultimately to this series. Our Stanley Cup playoff coverage will return in just a moment.
Good evening, everyone. This is Bob Cole along with Gary Dornhofer. And this is a crucial sixth game here at the Nassau Coliseum in New York. We mentioned earlier that the Islanders were a little bit tight tonight, playing in front of their hometown fans. And let's face it, they had a 3-0 lead, and now it's 3-2, and anything can happen in this type of series. But I have a feeling now that both teams are rather tight because the officials have left the ice off, telling the teams to get back out here. Yeah.
I think both coaches are playing a little gamemanship right about it. They're trying to stay in. You know, I still like the Islanders' position. You still have the home ice, but the important thing is to get off to that good start. And you'd be surprised that very first shift, if they can go to the attack and get things stirred up, how the momentum will shift to every player on the bench. I mean, they know the importance of this game. They don't want to go into Buffalo for another game.
I might caution our viewers at home and in the United States that when the Islanders do come out on the ice, we're going to hear one tremendous roar. There are over 15,000 here tonight, and let me tell you that they're ready to go. They were even cheering during the warm-up for the Islanders. Here come the Buffalo Sabres down to our left, and there's the reaction of the New York fans. That's very typical. Down to our right in the white and home uniforms, the New York Islanders, and oh my, do these fans want to see this team in a Stanley Cup final, and they're very, very close at this point.
Absolutely. And you know another thing, Bob, our broadcast position is right amongst the fans. I think this was an afterthought on where to put a broadcast position for television, but here we are. We have fans behind us, we have fans in front of us, and sometimes we may even have a difficult time seeing her.
Gary, somebody pointed out today, we were all talking about looking forward to this game tonight as people were all over Canada and the United States, and we were talking about if the Buffalo Sabres come out early and force the New York Islanders in their own end, they could do some very early drastic damage. On the other hand, if the Islanders get some scoring opportunities and do not score, they could get very tight.
Bob, I think as the game goes on, the advantage will go to the Sabres because I think they are a better checking team than the Islanders. You know, the Islanders, they lost guys like Westfall and Marshall and Gary Hart, guys that really concentrated on defense. The Islander team of today, they are more of an offensive team. And it showed in the last couple of games that when they're harassed behind their blue line, they certainly will cough up that puck.
Okay, Gary. The starting lineup come to their blue line. The Sabres to our left, the Islanders to our right. And here's Joe Dewar to sing the American National Anthem.
Whose broad stripes and bright stars
than you won. They were standing and cheering and applauding here at the Nassau Coliseum all the way through that anthem. There are your officials tonight. Andy Van Hellemond is the referee. Ron Finn and Bob Hodges are the two linesmen. In goal for the Buffalo Sabres tonight, the man who was so hot in games 1 and 2, Bob Sauvé, 1.76 goals against average. And down at the other end, Billy Smith. He was outstanding in the first 2 games in Buffalo, and of course, Sauvé was so great on Thursday night. Can't believe this crowd here in the Nassau Coliseum, Long Island in New York. Are they ever up? Let's see how the Islanders react now as they come to center. With Merrick, Connelly and Nystrom on the wing starting out. Lorimer and Potvin on the defense. Perreault, Martin and Sealing for Buffalo with Height and Dunn back there. And it's cleared into the Islanders zone. Islanders cautiously playing it up along the boards in their own end. Sealing couldn't keep it in. It's hammered from center ice, offside called at the Islanders blue line. Gary, this is some kind of crowd. Reminds you of the old days of the Spectrum.
There's nothing better than to get the blood flowing, and that's the noise of the crowd. Coach Scotty Bowman, I don't think he really figured the Sabres can come back after they were down 3-0. But suddenly, here they are, and you can bet that he'll use a lot of line combinations in this game tonight.
Perreault got the draw. It goes to Dennis Potvin, though. He's the leader of this team. If they're going to go, he has to be hot. Potvin hands it off on the right side. Lorimer comes as far as center, has to backtrack. Look out for Perreault. He's always dangerous in there. Martin was bumped. He fell to the ice down in the corner. And now the New York Islanders can't clear it. A shot by Sealing is away wide. Nystrom is starting down the right wing boards at center. Tried to hit Merrick and did. And Merrick couldn't get the shot. Van Boxmeer got a stick in front of him. It's kept in by the Islanders. Here's Merrick again. A penalty coming up against the Buffalo Sabres. Big break early. Connelly centered one. It's off the skate back to the line and into the center ice area. And now the referee, Andy Van Hellemond, stops the play. And the first penalty of the hockey game goes against Buffalo. From the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island, this is Stanley Cup 80. Van Boxmeer, there you see him in the penalty box, and here it is. It's a hooking call.
Well, there's no doubt about that. And right now, what it's going to do is the Islanders get that first power play. And, you know, talking to some of the players, they want to feed Potvin more with his wrist shot and then try to position somebody in front of Sauvé.
Trottier comes to center ice for New York. In is Pearson with a shot. That's blocked by Sauvé. The stick save in the corner. Horn takes a look. Gets in front, dangerously close. Bossy from the corner back to the line. Potvin back to Bossy. Bossy lining it up now. The Islanders on the power play. Here it is for Pearson again. Screen shot. We're getting an interference called against the New York Islanders. I believe it'll be Trottier who'll go off. And that stopped the play. So they'll be even 5 aside. Trottier, interference. That comes at 1:20. Van Boxmeer went off at 57 seconds.
Well, that's an awful big break for the Sabres. You know, they had that power play against them, and suddenly teams will play at even strength. You'll see it right at the left-hand part of your screen there. The interference on Trottier, moving the player out of that area. And Andy Van Hellemond, he was right on the spot there, caught the infraction, and that'll nullify that power play advantage.
So they're 5 aside now. Goring comes to center ice for the New York Islanders. Gilbert Perreault for the Buffalo Sabres. And there's a man that the Islanders have to contain. Perreault. From the draw, it goes back into the zone, and Height steps back for it smartly. Back of the net it goes. Sealing hammered it the other way, and here's Perreault looking for some skating room. If he gets it, he'll go, let me tell you. Here's Sealing across the line to center. Poked away from him, and Gord Lane shoots a long one in for New York. Coming back is Richie Dunn. Height takes his pass at the side of the net. Height goes back to the goal for Lane. It's by him. Sealing backing up with it. Threw it in back of the net again. The Islanders are forechecking. Here comes Big Gillies. Lane at the line, took a shot. Tipped away by Sauvé on the other side and kept in. Langevin just played it off to the corner. Now back for Buffalo. Up to the line at center is Perreault coming in. Look at him go now. Perreault! And his shot was fired wide. But he made a big move in front of the netminder, Billy Smith. And hops out into the center ice area. 40 seconds left in the Van Boxmeer penalty as Height comes in. There is no score in this first period. Height with a shot. Rebound! Scores! Height took the shot. Billy Smith set it up, and there's the guy I said you had to watch, Gary. Gilbert Perreault hopped on it quickly.
Well, he made a great rush before, but watch how the Sabres penetrate the zone. Look at the way the Islanders continue to back up. Now Perreault, nobody picks him coming through. There's the rebound by Billy Smith. And Perreault, what a better position to be in. He makes no mistake. But the Islanders, they have to challenge at the blue line.
Buffalo goal.
There's the rebound. There's Perreault. He makes no mistake. 2:26 the time. Perreault, his ninth, and it's 1-0 Buffalo. The Islanders shoot it in back of the net. Now, the Sabres start to move it again. A long pass to Garrett center, and he's coming in. Here's Danny Gare dropping it back, and two Islanders break out. This is Bob Bourne coming in with Henning. Bourne driving for the net, right in. And he was bumped with Bob Sauvé making that save. It goes back of the net. Into the corner again. Playfair trying to move it out. Gets it up to center ice. Buffalo on the move. The long, high, rising shot by Mongrain is wide of the net. Now Lorimer, he shoots one down to center ice. Playfair waits for it and gets it. Nearing the 4-minute mark of the opening period. 1-0 Buffalo on top of the New York Islanders. And Potvin comes back. The teams are at full strength now as Trottier is on. Here's the play coming down on the left wing to center. Buffalo hustling back, and Height takes over at his own blue line. To Richie Dunn. Dunn's pass through the middle. McKegney was stopped. Gare tried to carry on. He was sent flying just inside the line. And the Islanders get it out to the center ice area. Howard picks it up. He comes in. A shot off into the corner. Sauvé out of the net, steering it up along the boards. And Pearson stops it for Langevin. From there, he'll shoot it in. They've hit the 4-minute mark of the opening period. Good play in front of the net by Derek Smith to whip it out to center ice. Pearson stopped McKegney. Buffalo Sabres changing as the play goes on. Langevin coming in. On the wing is Trottier. Trottier dropped it back in front. Here's Howard breaking in. Howard gets his shot. And that low shot is why there's another penalty coming up against Buffalo. A shot hit the side of the net by Bossy. And now the whistle goes. And another interference call against the Buffalo Sabres. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island. Richie Dunn is there. He's off for interference at 4:25 of this opening period. 1-0 Buffalo leading on the Gilbert Perreault goal. And now the Islanders once again have the man advantage. Goring got the draw for Nystrom back near the line. It's kept in. Potvin. Pearson then lost it, and it goes to center. Potvin coming back to watch Luce. Luce and Savard. The penalty killers up front for Buffalo. Here's Nystrom shooting one from center. That's knocked down by Gillies. And the Islanders had come back on the side. It's cleared back in on the wing, and Goring couldn't pick it up. It goes from Gillies to Potvin, who is out of position. And it's into the center ice area. Pearson to Potvin. Back to Pearson. He moves up near the line. Nystrom right behind him. It didn't pass it back, and Height will shoot it off the boards. Not out. Kept in by the Islanders on this power play. It's been ineffective so far. Here's Gillies to Potvin. To Nystrom. Popped off his stick. In back of the net it goes. Covering up is Jim Schoenfeld. He moves it from the corner to the line and stopped by Pearson right in front. Quick shot is rifled wide by Goring. Goring has it again to Nystrom. In comes Big Gillies in the corner. He tries to set it up, and Buffalo doing a standout job killing this penalty. 1-0, the Sabres lead it at the line. Pearson to Potvin. Potvin gets ready. Played it in along the big circle. Goring got it back to Pearson to Potvin. Here's the shot now. That's off the stick of Don Luce. That's Savard. Couldn't clear it by the defenseman Pearson. Shot. That's off the leg and wide of the net. Putback couldn't keep it in. It goes down the ice, and now only 25 seconds left in the penalty to the Buffalo Sabres. The Islanders trailing 1-0, led by Bourne coming in. Bourne over to the far side. Had it knocked off his stick, and it's cleared to the center ice area. They fall, but here's Sealing. One man back, and Sealing in with a shot. That's grabbed by Billy Smith. The penalty, 3 seconds left in it now. So it's over at this point as Bossy comes down the ice on the left wing. He dropped it to Bourne at the line. He just barely kept it in. That's about all. The Sabres shoot it to center. Once again, coming in is Morrow. His long shot is blocked by Sauvé. Buffalo 1. The Islanders, no score. Game 6 of the semifinal series. A long pass down to the wing. Perreault again. Shot! Score! Gilbert Perreault left open on the left wing. And here at 6:53, it's 2-0. Perreault in Buffalo.
Well, you noticed that acceleration by Perreault there down the wing. But I thought Smith really played this poorly. You see the shot coming. Look at all the room he had there. And it actually beats him on the short side. Hits part of Smith and trickles into the net. He did get a part of it, piece of it, but it goes through him. You know, Smith come out a little further, challenge a little better, would have had that one. But Perreault suddenly has scored 2 goals for the Sabres.
And that's number 10 in the series for Gilbert Perreault. Perreault from Van Boxmeer, the official scoring play at 6:53, and it's 2-0. This is Stanley Cup 80 from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island. The Islanders down 2 goals early in this hockey game as the Sabres strike early, and they've been killing off those penalties again. Here's Van Boxmeer back of the net. On the boards, it's stuffed near the line and cleared down on the left wing. Islanders trying to organize again. Bourne just tipped it up to the zone. It's fed ahead by Schoenfeld. Down the left side. Ruff was spun around and back for New York. In on the wing goes Morrow. Morrow breaks around Schoenfeld, who then caught up to him and threw him in on the board. Schoenfeld went down. Here's Trottier, centers it. A scramble for it. Pinelli took a shot, and that was just wide. Off the skate to the corner. Long shot by Lane was blocked. Richie Dunn trying to move it out for Buffalo. Some great pressure there by the New York Islanders, but they're still scoreless in this game. Perreault trying to go in again. Perreault in the big circle was spun around and back for New York. Down at that far right side, Sutter tried to play it in front. He did. Good. Pinelli got the goal, and Sutter set it up.
Well, if the Islanders ever needed one, they got a goal at the opportune time to get back in the game. Sutter gets over that blue line. It looked like a very harmless play. There's Pinelli all by himself. Nobody picked him up, and more goals are being scored from that slot area. Look at 2 guys around. In fact, 3 Sabres around, but Pinelli gets a piece of it right through the legs of Bob Sauvé.
And there's the official time, 8:08. John Pinelli getting this crowd to their feet.
That should never happen, Bob, in a case like that. Boy, that's the first place you want to look. Who's coming down that slot? The Sabres had 3 men there. Not one of them put a finger on Pinelli. There you saw the result.
A little bit of panic in a way as Sutter went back of the net, as you'll see now as we look at it again. Sutter going back of the net, and they chased him back there. Right in front is Pinelli.
Well, everybody's watching Sutter. You saw Rick Martin in there, Playfair. They're all looking at Sutter, what he's going to do, instead of somebody turning around and watching the man in the slot.
With a score, Buffalo 2 and the New York Islanders 1. This is Stanley Cup 80. This is Bob Cole along with Gary Dornhofer and Dan Kelly, Dave Hodge at the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island in New York. The Sabres lead the Islanders 2-1. This is game 6. It's a big one. McClanahan took a shot from a difficult angle and it's knocked down. There's another drive from the other side, and that was away wide by Mongrain. Back for Tonelli. Tonelli played it long, one into the corner. Richie Dunn going after it. He didn't get there early enough, and it was cleared by Sutter. Still in the zone. Tonelli and Sutter. Here's Sutter trying to set it up again for Tonelli. And they cover on him in front of the net, and the Sabres come right back to center ice. Shanahan going in with McKechnie's shot, rising high on the glass. It's kept in by Richie Dunn, but here's Pearson going after it. He flips it around the net on the other side, and Tonelli coming out with Merrick to his right. Sutter on the right side. Coming in Tonelli and Merrick. Merrick in front to Tonelli, and the shot is blocked by Sauvé with a bad scramble in the Buffalo netminders' goal crease.
You notice Sutter getting involved, trying to interfere with Bob Sauvé. That's something the Islanders want to do. Another good rush. What a move Tonelli makes here to sneak that through the middle. And this line has been very effective. There's the original shot, and Sutter going for the net. That's something both teams are doing very well. It resulted in a goal on Buffalo with Perreault, second man heading for that net.
They're nearing the halfway mark of the opening period. Buffalo lead it 2-1. The pass comes back near the line, but the Sabres break out of the zone. Down to center ice goes McKechnie. McKechnie flipped it off the stick, and Gare went in after it. Dennis Potvin couldn't get away from Gare. There's going to be a penalty now. High sticking call. And I believe it'll be Dennis Potvin, the New York Islanders. Stanley Cup 80 will continue in a moment.
You see, good times for you and me.
Dennis Potvin, 9:13 of this period. Here it is.
Well, something that the Islanders will have to guard against is taking the bad penalty. There you see the high stick against Danny Gare. But suddenly the Sabres have found their touch on the power play. Before tonight's game, they had scored 4 goals on their last 7 chances.
There's Derek Smith, number 19. He is hurting, so not up 100%. He's in to take the face-off, and Goring comes in now, and Smith is waved out also against Perreault. 2-1, Buffalo. Power play for the Sabres. There's the draw. It slides across in front of Smith. Along the boards, Derek Smith kept it in. Gord Lane went after it. Couldn't move it out. Van Boxmeer set it up for Perreault, and his high shot was deflected on the glass, back of the net. Kept in on the far side by Dunn. Perreault looks for it again. Sets it up for Van Boxmeer, who just barely kept it in. Into the corner is Danny Gare. Gare along the boards. He waited too long to make his move. Morrill couldn't move it out of the zone. This power play by Buffalo looking good to this point. Perreault gets set now. Van Boxmeer back at the blue line. There's Van Boxmeer getting set. He didn't shoot it, just faked the shot. Perreault to the far side. Now Dunn lets it go. And that went off his skate and just wide. A good low shot. Van Boxmeer kept it in, and he took a heavy check from Trottier. Buffalo still with that great pressure on there, leading 2-1. Gare faked the shot. Van Boxmeer has to spin around. There's the drive. It's deflected back of the net. And Danny Gare has it. He's hauled into the boards by Morrill. It comes loose now. And Goring couldn't move it out. Finally, Morrill got it as far as the line. It's still inside the blue line. The Sabres are changing as the play goes on, and 45 seconds left in the penalty to Dennis Potvin. Buffalo 2, the Islanders 1. Coming out is Richie Dunn. He hit center, tried to shoot it in. They're all offside on that play, and now it's called. 32 seconds left in Dennis Potvin's penalty.
Both teams are, when they're killing the penalty, are doing a good job of challenging. They're not giving the team with the power play a chance to set up. There you see it, 32 seconds left to go in the manpower advantage for the Sabres. And if you don't have the guys back, that have the power play advantage that can handle that puck, it makes it for a very difficult situation. But both teams, fortunately, have the players that set up those plays so well.
Sealing comes to the right side, whipped it back to Bill Height, and goes by him into the Buffalo zone. And now 25 seconds left in the penalty. The Sabres trying to make it one more time down the ice, but it's stopped at the line by Lauren Henning. Good forechecking by Henning. Finally, the Sabres get to center. Sealing gets up over the New York line. Langevin couldn't stop him. Into the corner, McKechnie gets it back. Height with a shot. That was blocked by Henning. And it goes down the ice again, and now 3 seconds left in the penalty. So the Islanders get Dennis Potvin back again. He's on the ice now. There he is, right into the play. And it comes in front of ceiling. McKechnie fan on a shot. Schoenfeld. He slides it in front. Oh, and a great save by Billy Smith. He had that left leg down. That, let me tell you, was a big save. Back for Henning now. Henning up over the line. Great moves by Henning. Into Howitt. Howitt can't shoot it. Off to the boards he goes. Gets it back, and it's into the center ice area. Langevin with 8:20 left in the period. Shooting it in. Now Don Luce starting back for Buffalo. The left wing pass for Martin doesn't work. The Islanders, Howitt drops it back. Now Morrow brings it in with Howitt. He got the pass off the board, but it was in behind him, and he, in fact, was offside at the line. Live from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island, the Stanley Cup playoff.
Look, 'tis a lucky shamrock, like the one you see in my Manly Irish Spring soap. It has the fine, fresh fragrance of a spring day in Ireland. And the unique double deodorant system in these green and white stripes. 2 deodorants to help keep a man feeling clean and fresh.
Manly, yes. But I like it too.
You can't beat the luck of the Irish.
Try your luck in the Irish Spring Contest. Win one of 5 trips for 2 to Las Vegas.
In the first intermission, I'll talk to Buffalo rookie Lindy Ruff. Our other features, Don Cherry's Coach's Corner and Stanley Cup Playoff Quiz.
Okay, Dave, here's Gordy Lane. Coming from his own line to center, and he shoots a high one in out of the net as Bob Sauvé to stop it. Playfair went back there to try to move it out. Trottier centered one. It was deflected by Bossy, but wide. Bossy kept it in back of the net. Here's Trottier. Takes a good look, then waited too long. Now he backhands it out in front, and the Buffalo Sabres will clear it. Mongrain comes to center ice. Comes over on this right side and cutting in is Mongrain. Into the corner, he was bumped by Lane. Back of the net, Morrow trying to move it. They jam in on the boards. Trottier ahead to Bossy. Coming out now. Down with Howitt in center. Over for Lane. Coming in. The shot. Low shot was a good 2 feet wide on the short side of the net. It's centered back in front. Nystrom couldn't get loose. The Sabres will clear it out. 3 of them come to center ice. As they hit the 13-minute mark of the period, they go in. Onside, Buffalo 2. The New York Islanders won. The 2 Buffalo goals by Jobert Perreault. And the Islanders came back when John Tonelli scored. And assist from Pearson and Merrick. That was at 8:08.
Now Trottier, there he is, the leading playoff scorer. And he does so many things that really helped the Islanders. Not only killing penalties, he saw him block a shot the last time he was out there.
Gillies long drive, that's gloved by Sauvé. At the line and stopped, another shot. Lorimer will get another opportunity. He played it into the corner and Perreault whipped it off the boards back of the net. The Sabres back for Perreault at center ice. Ruff just cleared it into the zone, and Potvin will take over with 6:40 left in the opening period. Here's Nystrom against Ruff. He was upended. The 2 players fall to the ice, and Goring carries on with Gillies. Goring going in. Gillies near the blue line with Potvin. Didn't see it, and it's cleared by John Van Boxmeer down the ice. 6:25 remaining in this period. The Islanders coming to life now. They were trailing 2-0 at one point, and it's now 2-1. Here's Nystrom. Nystrom on the board, centered one. And it's cleared by Danny Gare up across the line to center ice. Coming down McKechnie. McKechnie to Gare. Gare's shot, a high one. Wide of Billy Smith. They're going end to end now. Tonelli tries to get away from McKechnie. He was belted, and there's going to be a penalty. Goring centers it. And the whistle goes, and there's going to be another Buffalo penalty, and Danny Gare doesn't like the call, nor does Schoenfeld.
Well, he's hot. That looked like a real good hit there by Schoenfeld.
Buffalo penalty.
We're going to see it again. Tonelli, he's got his head down because he's being checked from behind by McKechnie. Now let Schoenfeld come over.
For charging at 14:06.
And it's a charging call. Again, down the wing. Tonelli, something that he does so well. Good along the boards. Big kid. Keeps right on going. And the intensity that both teams have showed here so far is just incredible. What a good hit But Schoenfeld, he's going to be sitting in the penalty box for the next couple of minutes.
So at 14:06 of this first period, Jim Schoenfeld of Buffalo, that standout defenseman of the Sabres, off for charging. So just under 6 minutes remaining in this first period. Power play now. Potvin to Pearson at the line. Back to him again. Takes the shot. Now just flipped it in front. Richie Dunn cleared it on the glass down the ice. There's Billy Smith out of the net to stop it, and Potvin will try to move it now on this power play for the New York Islanders. His team trailing by a goal. And here come the Islanders. Potvin from center shoots it in out of the net. Sauvé decides to hustle back. And I'll tell you, Gary, these Sabres are doing a fantastic job killing penalties.
Well, both teams, that's because they challenge right into the zone. You notice them going deep. Wherever the puck goes, the player goes.
Well, they're going to try it again. They have to backtrack to do it this time. Pearson being forechecked on the play by Andre Savard. He's up front with Don Luce, the penalty killers for Buffalo. That's Luce back to the net after Pearson. Now Potvin starts out. His pass comes to Goring. Goring at center. Goring moving to the far side. Great moves by Goring. Goring carries onto the corner, still has it. Goring centers it. It's back of the net again for Bossy. Back to the line of Pearson. Winding up. Doesn't shoot it. Bossy on a difficult angle. He can't shoot it. Now Potvin. Potvin drive. And that's knocked down in front. And the Sabres shoot it down the ice. 40 seconds left in the penalty. To the Buffalo Sabres. It's Sabres 2. The Islanders 1. Mark Gillies now on the move. He's cruising in. Spun around by Van Boxmeer. Back of the net he goes. Gillies takes a look. Can't push it over in front. Potvin has his stick down on it. Potvin comes back this way to Pearson. Winding up. The low shot hit a stick and went wide. Now Gillies goes in there looking for it. It's cleared by Potvin to Gillies, centering it. And here's Pearson with a chance. Pearson swinging around over to Nystrom. Back on this side to Gillies. Gillies to Nystrom again. Shot! And that's blocked by Sauvé. And the goaltender falls. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island.
It's Boulevard watch time. Time so accurate, it was picked to go to the moon. Time so protected, it dwells deep in the ocean. Time surrounded by a girl's best friend. We offer time to you in more beautiful ways than anyone else in the world, including a way to wake you up when the commercial is over.
Well, I guess, Gary, it's a little too early in the game to get too tight. There's Al Arbour, who looks to be a little tight at the moment. His team down a goal.
He loves it. He said, how many people get an opportunity to go for a Stanley Cup final berth?
Oh, you're right. But it's tough on the way. Coming down for Buffalo, Van Boxmeer, that good rushing defenseman. He shoots it in. And coming back to the net, Sutter. Moving it out, Tonelli to center. Here's Merrick with a break, and Sutter gets in front, shooting it. And Sauvé made the save and just held tight to that post. Did a good job cutting down that short side.
Well, what better player to ask about another goaltender than a goaltender himself? Talked to Chico Reshton. He says one thing Sauvé does so well, he really plays the angles. He stands straight up. You notice him coming out there. He had that angle perfectly blocked. He said if Sauvé does have a weakness, because he stands so straight up, he leaves those rebounds and he's not in a crouch. He's not able to handle them that well. He really depends a lot on his defense to cover that rebound. So the Islanders, they certainly want to get somebody in that vicinity to try to pick up a few rebounds of their own.
This line of Merrick, Tonelli, and Sutter has been a standout for the Islanders so far in this game. Tonelli has scored the New York goal. Gilbert Perreault, the 2 goals for Buffalo. I'm Bob Cole along with Gary Dornhofer. Dan Kelly and Dave Hodge for the 6th game from Long Island in New York. 2-1, the Sabres lead it with 3:30 left to play in this opening period. Merrick now on the draw. Back of the net, Tonelli went after it. He was bumped hard. They start to push and shove, and Russell and 2 players fall to the ice. Quickly, the 2 linesmen are in there, and the referee, Andy Van Helleman. Gary, that so far, this series has been fairly mild when you look at this sort of thing. But, you know, the tension has got to be mounting.
Well, you wonder when something's going to break out. There have been a lot of good hits by both teams. The Islanders, of course, are a lot bigger on the forward line. They have some big fellas out there, and they have to use their body. Strong against the boards in the corner.
Here comes Schoenfeld. He wants to go after someone.
Lindy Ruff, of course, he was in the Scotty Bowman's doghouse for a period of time. Suddenly he got the call, and has he ever been effective? And he will be with Dave Hodge in the first intermission. You know, it gives Gilles Perreault a chance to play double shifts with he and Van Boxmeer in the forward line. Look at that hitting there with Tonelli, Schoenfeld.
2 minutes for roughing. Islander penalty number 27, John
Tonelli.
2 minutes for high sticking. Time of the penalties at 16:39.
Tonelli gets a high sticking penalty. Jim Schoenfeld of Buffalo for roughing. These penalties come at 16:39. The Sabres lead 2-1. The 2 Buffalo goals by Perreault. It was Tonelli who scored the goal for the New York Islanders.
You know, it's interesting, Bob. You go and talk to the 2 coaches and ask them for their lines that they're going to be using tonight. And they said, well, here's the way we'll start. But from once the game starts, you never know the combinations we'll use. And both Al Arbour and Scotty Bowman have used so many combinations so far, we have disregarded what they had to say before the game.
You better believe it. Nightmares for broadcasters, but of course they have a job to do. So do we. It's 3:21 left in this first period. Sabres up by a goal. And Goring with Gillies, Lane, and Morrow for the New York Islanders. And it comes to Lane. Lane screen shot, got through, but Bob Sauvé had the angle covered, and he saw it. Perreault, a little more skating room out there now for a fellow like Perreault who can really fly. They're 5 aside as Height comes across his own line for Buffalo. In comes Sealing now. He stops to get away from Lane. That was a good move. Trying to hit Perreault, cruising in front, but the Islanders cover up and get rid of it. 2:55 left in the period. Buffalo 2, the New York Islanders 1. This is Sealing again, that long lead pass. Sealing's high shot. That was right at Billy Smith. He just stood there and blocked it. Now Lane, taking his time, gets away from Luce. That's a dangerous move on Don Luce in front of your own net. Lane from center ice shoots it in. And Richie Dunn will take over for the Buffalo Sabres as the Islanders change. With a play moving down to center, led by Dunn. Dunn played it on the boards into the corner. Lorimer hustles over there, and he'll move it out. He gets it up as far as center, and he was bumped to the ice. Now Bob Bourne goes back with Potvin. Potvin takes his lead pass. Coming in with Trottier. Potvin failing. It comes to Bourne, closing in. Good move by Bourne, but Van Boxmeer just hooked it away. And they get a whistle as the 2 players go to the board. To the right of Bob Sauvé. 2:06 left in this first period. Buffalo 2 and the New York Islanders 1.
Well, you talk about a guy that can certainly break a game wide open with his speed. You're looking at Bob Bourne. He showed us a pretty exciting move there where he cut to the inside. But Van Boxmeer, he was equal to the task and was able to break up the play. Scotty Bowman, will this be his last year as a coach? I think this is it for Scotty, but
he wants to move upstairs. General manager,
he's had enough. Life is easier sitting in an office.
Well, he told me himself he'd like to have an opportunity to spend more time with his children. Bourne down the left side. He was bumped on the boards, can't move it. Dennis Potvin comes in from the blue line with Bourne. And it goes back near the line again. A backhand shot, a weak one, was stopped by Sauvé, no problem. And here we go, we're getting another penalty. And Andy Van Helleman heads over to the penalty timekeeper's bench. And it's going to be Bob Bourne who's going off. There he goes.
Well, he knew it right away. As soon as the play was called, he just skated right over the penalty box. Ramsey carrying the puck behind his net. Bourne took the skates right from under him, and he didn't hesitate, skated right to the box.
Gilbert Perreault, his 9th of the series, to give Buffalo a 1-0 lead at 2:26. Then Perreault was 10th to make it 2-0 at 6:53, and then Tonelli making it 2-1. that goal at 8:08.
Well, Perreault in the last 3 games, he has certainly been the trigger man for the Sabres, doing it all. Now they're just waiting for Gare and Martin to start scoring some goals.
The team starting to center ice and watching each other very closely. There's a shot right off the goal post by Perreault. I'll tell you, he's been firing bullets tonight. Gilbert Perreault with that harmless-looking rush just inside the line, and he nailed the post. 1 minute and 20 seconds left in the opening period. Buffalo on the move. Richie Dunn shoots one in. It's off the boards, comes right back near the line again. Tonelli jamming forward along the boards, and they get it down the ice. Dunn steps back. He's circled.
Last minute to play in the period.
1 minute left in this first period. Perreault's pass to Danny Gare. Here he comes up near the line, and Gare just made that move as he hit the blue line, and the Sabres are offside.
Well, it looks right now that Al Arbour wants Butch Goring against Perreault, and it seems that every time he's out there, they've got Goring. Try to neutralize the speed. Goring can keep up with Perreault, but you know, when I look back at when we were playing the Sabres in the finals, what we try to do is pick up Perreault right when he got the puck in his own zone, or pick him up before he had a chance to carry it, because you notice how dangerous he becomes when he carries that puck.
You see Scotty Bowman a second ago looking up at the clock, 50 seconds left. And there's a power play now on for Buffalo as they shoot it in. Born off for the rest of this period unless there's a goal scored, of course. Here's Goring coming to center ice. Two-man break coming in with Henning. Shoots! That's knocked down in front of the net. And Gare takes it. Danny Gare coming out. 30 seconds left in the period. Buffalo 2 and the Islanders 1. Coming in across the line. It's knocked away and cleared. Once again, Van Boxmeer moved it up on the right wing boards. Lane was given a jolt by Danny Gare. It comes right in front of the net. McKechnie was spun around with 12 seconds left. Back near the blue line. 2 Islanders break out. 8 seconds left. Coming in is Henning. Fakes the shot. 3 seconds left. It's cleared into the corner. And the period is over. But they were racing against the clock on that 2-on-1, let me tell you.
Well, something that Schoenfeld does so well is block shots. You know, you'll see him go down 6 or 7 times a game. Henning makes a good play here. He holds up. He sees Schoenfeld going down, but he wasn't able to draw the puck back and get good control of it.
And so the score at the end of the first period is Buffalo 2 and the New York Islanders 1.
For the good times, heading out with these friends of mine, breaking away for the good times, feeling good and we're doing fine. You only live once, that's our point of view. Come on, join us, we're counting on you, breaking away for the good times.
Absolutely. Yeah, I know. Hi.
Away to Canada, Boston, Canada, breaking away to Canada, breaking away to the good times.
At Mutual Life, most of us learn about being a parent the same way you do, firsthand. So we understand your hopes for tomorrow because we share them. And when you go to buy life insurance for yourself, we know who you're really thinking of because we know what you know.
Life is a mutual affair.
Hey. Take a close look at a great car, Ford Fairmont. It's a proven success for the 80s, and it's the right idea for today. Because Ford Fairmont offers you the right combination. A low price, lower than many of the lowest priced economy cars. Full 5-passenger roominess with plenty of trunk space and great fuel economy. Put it all together and Fairmont gives you great value. Isn't that what you're looking for? Coming or going, it's the right idea for today. Ford Fairmont. Take a test drive at your Ford dealer.
Sabres on a pair of goals by Gilbert Perreault lead 2-1 over the New York Islanders, who got their goal from John Tonelli. Gilbert Perreault, with the 2 goals, is now the leading scorer in these Stanley Cup playoffs with 21 points. 1 point ahead of Brian Trottier of the New York Islanders, and we've seen some close checking. We've seen some wide-open play earlier in this series, and tonight, the best of both. Quite an entertaining first period of play. And a man that is, as things have turned out, become a very important player for the Buffalo Sabres is rookie Lindy Ruff, who last year was a teenage defenseman for the Lethbridge Juniors and could still be that this year. This is one of those could you have imagined questions. A, that you'd be in the NHL. B, that you'd be with a team that is contending for the Stanley Cup, and that you'd be a starting forward as opposed to a defenseman.
It was, you know, I've had the big change around myself after playing defense at the beginning of the year, and now coming and filling in left wing, you know, since Craig Ramsey's been hurt, and since we had the 7 defensemen, and you know, I'm starting to kind of like it up there.
I tell you, if you have to move from defense to left wing, it's not a bad idea to have number 11 on your right side, is it?
No, it feels real good. You know, he's one of the greatest guys at getting the puck out of your own end. You know, he's not really known for his defensive play. He's more known for scoring the goals, and you know, you got 2 quick ones tonight, and you got a guy that's that strong, and you know, with that kind of speed, you know, it really helps you in your own end too.
Sabres had to make a tough decision about your development. You're a young player that I'm sure they don't want you sitting on the bench, yet that has happened from time to time this season. Did you ever wonder whether you should be where you are or maybe back in junior high?
Well, there was you know, times I had my doubts, and I'd sort of just sit there and think maybe I should have been back there, but you know, as it's turned out, I'm real glad I stayed. And you know, you're playing with better guys, and you're always learning. And we've got the super coaching staff here, and you know, it's really helped me just to be here and practice. And now that I'm getting ice time, you know, I'm really enjoying it.
You see your role a physical one, especially in this series?
Well, the Islanders are a hitting club, and you know, I've been known to throw my weight around a little bit, and you know, we need a little muscle up front, and you know, we got some smaller forwards, and we got some bigger guys, and you know, if I can get in there and mix it up and throw my weight around and, you know, cause a few mix-ups in their end, you know, I'll do it.
The series has turned around, at least at this point, in Buffalo's favor, even though it's still 3-2 for the Islanders. What do you think did that for you?
Well, you know, we had a few bad breaks in the first 3 games. They had the super hot goaltending, and, you know, we didn't have real bad goaltending, but I think we were real cold the first game. And, you know, we turned it around the second game, and they scored the overtime goal. It was a real good game, and you know, I think our hearts kind of dropped the 3rd game here, and you know, and then we realized, you know, we're not the kind of team that's going to drop out in 4 straight games, and you know, we put our heads down, and you know, guys who hadn't played that much all year, and guys had been sitting out, really dug down and put in 100% for the team.
You're one of those guys who hadn't been playing too much and is now giving 100%. Congratulations on your effort thus far. Good luck the rest of the
Thanks, Dave.
Lindy Ruff of the Buffalo Sabres, Coach's Corner featuring Don Cherry will be along next, and Stanley Cup 80 continues in just a moment.
Steve McQueen is Tom Horn, a common man, a quiet man, an honorable man.
Man of the West, Indian tracker.
He stood for what he believed was right. But many times, he stood alone. Steve McQueen, Tom Horn.
Opening soon at Famous Players and other theaters near you. Please consult your local listings.
These 5 men are going to show you just how easily Lawn Boy attachments turn the Lawn Boy Supreme into 5 different mowers. Number 1's turning his Lawn Boy into a leaf shredder. Number 2, a rear bagger. Number 3 is going to mulch his grass. Number 4 will use his Lawn Boy as a side bagger. And number 5 will use his with no attachments at all. Lawn Boy, the 5-in-1 mower. Lawn Boy, the only way to mow.
At Speedy, you're a somebody, and that, my friends, we guarantee.
Guarantee? We give you a before and after guarantee. Before we touch your car, we tell you how much and stick to it. And see this? After we replace your muffler, we guarantee it for as long as you own the car.
Mufflers, tailpipes, we do shock absorbers too. Low prices, we go all the way for you. Speedy Muffler, and Speedy, you're a somebody, and Speedy, you're a somebody, and Speedy, you're a somebody, and somebody, and Speedy.
Welcome to our people-pleasing places.
Mr. Carlin, your briefcase.
We are people-pleasing places.
Holiday Inn hotels are #1 in the world with the best standards.
Everything all right, sir?
Everything's just fine. People-pleasing standards to help make your trip successful.
Wherever you go in this whole big traveling world.
We want to make you comfortable.
Holiday Inn is #1 in people pleasing.
The Islanders outshot the Sabres in the first period 10-6. They outshot them in Game 5 as well. They lost Game 5 and they're trailing after one period here tonight, 2-1. And now we join the affable Don Cherry in his Coach's Corner.
Tonight on Coach's Corner, we're going to have something called dumping it in or shooting it in. You know, I hear a lot of coaches say this is dumb hockey. I guess the Russians say this is dumb hockey too. And it is dumb hockey when you dump it in and the other team gets it. But you can do it right. You dump it in, you get there first, it's winning hockey. Now let's see how the Bruins do it. Now watch Milbury. He puts it in. He puts it in so the goalie can't handle it. That's the key. The goalie can't handle it. If he handles it, we're dead. Now watch O'Reilly go in. He knows it's going in. He's on the Bill Daly, as he said. Picks it up. Goalie doesn't know what's going on. He puts it out to McNabb, and they get a good shot. Now we have another one. We have Cash coming up the side. Cash puts it in his own corner. Again, notice the goalie can't feel it and get it out. Marcotte on the far side's going in to pick it up. He's just beautiful, Marcotte. Now watch, he gets there first. That's the way to do it. But remember now when I tell you, you can't have the goalie feel it. If you put it behind the net, he gives it to his defenseman, it's on the way out. Doesn't make any sense. But there is a time when you should put it on the net. Now watch Wilf Paymont here, what he does. He's going down the far side. He gets the pass here. He sees he can't go anywhere. He just dumps it on the net, and look what happened. You should practice this all the time. All teams of the National Hockey League practice this, dumping it on the goalie. It hits, it takes a crazy bounce, and the way it goes in. Mir didn't have a chance. Now remember what I tell you. Dumping the puck in is dumb hockey if the other team gets it. But it's winning hockey. Bruins proved it, and Colorado's going to prove it next year. And that's it from Coach's Corner.
I guess when the puck goes in the net, there can be nothing wrong with how it goes into the net. Don Cherry in Coach's Corner. And we have a Stanley Cup playoff quiz for you. Pencils and papers ready and all that jazz. And we'll return with the Stanley Cup playoffs in just a moment.
Quaker State helps cars last.
See that? It's the sign of quality engine protection. Quaker State motor oil protection. That's the reason I use Quaker State. It's the best-selling motor oil in North America. Quaker State's the only oil we've ever used in our truck. The way I figure it, when you've got something good going for you, you stay with it. Quaker State helps cars last. And trucks.
At electric power sites in Canada, engineers from China are learning new techniques. They know Canadians have one of the most reasonably priced and reliable electric power services in the world. And like many other countries, they come to study our innovations, like pioneering extra high voltage transmission.
Well done, Canada.
Constant innovation. It's one reason Canadians enjoy one of the most reasonably priced and reliable electric power services in the world.
Putting in more gas and putting out more money? Maybe your car needs a tune-up with fresh Champion spark plugs. They can improve fuel economy. It's like getting more gas in your tank and more money in your bank. Fill her up with fresh Champions.
breaking away to the good times.
Good day.
Sabres are trying to do what has never been done in Stanley Cup semifinal history, and that is win 4 straight after losing the first 3 games. Now that you know that, let us find out what else you know in our playoff quiz.
Our first question. The Montreal Canadiens have won the Stanley Cup a total of 23 times. Which NHL city ranks second in Stanley Cup victories? Is it Boston? Is it Toronto? Or is it Detroit? The answer, teams representing Toronto, a total of 13 times. The first in 1918, the most recent in 1967. And on 2 occasions, the Maple Leafs won 3 in a row. Question number 2. Which player has appeared in the most Stanley Cup games? Is it Red Kelly? Is this one of the many records held by Gordie Howe, or does this one belong to Henri Richard? The answer is Henri Richard, the Pocket Rocket, with 180 games. His first in 1956, his last in 1975. In last year's Stanley Cup playoffs, which player scored the most goals? Was it Jacques Lemaire? Was it Phil Esposito? Or was it Guy Lafleur? The answer is not Guy Lafleur. It's Jacques Lemaire with 11 goals. He and Lafleur tied with 23 points. This was Gordie Howe's 20th year in Stanley Cup competition. How many times has he been on a Stanley Cup winning team? 4 times, 7 times, or 9 times? Gordie Howe scored the Cup-winning goal in 1955, the last time the Detroit Red Wings won the Stanley Cup. He was on the Cup-winning team 3 times before, in 1950, 52, and 54. A total of 4 Stanley Cup winning teams for number 9. The Conn Smythe Trophy is awarded to the most valuable player in Stanley Cup games. Who was last year's winner? Was it Bob Gainey of the Montreal Canadiens? Guy Lafleur of the Montreal Canadiens? Or was it Larry Robinson? The answer, Bob Gainey, who also won the Frank Selke Trophy a year ago.
As far as the Conn Smythe Trophy is concerned this season, you have only to look at the statistics of the first period to realize that a strong candidate, should the Buffalo Sabres come all the way back to win this semifinal and go to the final, will be Gilbert Perreault. The start to this game was supposed to be so important. Buffalo very definitely got the good start, but the Islanders came back with the important goal to cut the lead in half. Let's go to Bob Cole and Gary Dornhofer.
The 2 teams are back on the ice. For the start of the second period, the Buffalo Sabres lead the New York Islanders 2-1. Gilbert Perreault made it 1-0 with his 9th of the playoffs at 2:26. Then Perreault again to make it 2-0 Buffalo at 6:53. And John Tonelli from Pearson and Sutter at 8:08. The shots on goal, as you see, the Islanders out shooting the Sabres 10-6 in the first 20 minutes. Been quite a hockey game, Gary.
Yes, it has. And, you know, you look at that shot total. Perreault has had 2. Sealing has had 3. Height has had 1. So that means 14 other players have not registered a shot. So it's up to the Sabres. Like the coaches always used to say, let's get a shot and a hit in every period.
There's Bob Sauvé, the goaltender for the Buffalo Sabres. I'll tell you that Gilbert Perreault is looking very, very hot.
Well, I think it's time for the Islanders to pay more attention to him. In the last 3 games now, he has certainly been the dynamite figure on the Sabres. Get a guy on him and just follow him all over the ice. That would probably be their best bet.
The Islanders handing him with a shot, and that hits Sauvé. High on the head. I think we'll get another look at that. The Islanders still in there. It's cleared back of the net. Bourne gets ready to step back on, and there's going to be a penalty against Buffalo. There's the call. Right away, we get a Buffalo penalty from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island. This is Stanley Cup 80.
When your rocker's off its rocks, or you just lost your socks, stick with the Pages. When you're going down to sea, when you can't find your key, stick with the Pages. You can mend a broken heart, so it doesn't come apart. If your house has had enough, if you're building new stuff, stick with the Pages. It sticks for ages, and the Pages will stick with you.
Here at 18 seconds of play in the second period, John Van Boxmeer of the Buffalo Sabres is off for hooking. Sauvé was shaken up a little while ago. You saw the shot. It hit him high, either on the shoulder or on the face mask.
Well, in any event, if it did hit him on the face mask, I think that would be the route to go. You know, it will take the puck will take the hit on that mask and not cause any damage. You know, the other face mask that a lot of the goaltenders are wearing, even though they get hit, you know, it has a tendency to cut. But Sauvé seems to be all right. He's back in there again and ready to resume play.
There's the backup goaltender. That's Don Edwards of Buffalo. But Sauvé is okay. Schoenfeld back of the net. He lost it. Bossy got it loose. Now Schoenfeld still on the ice. Bossy tried to throw it by him, but it went underneath the big defenseman, and he just stayed there, didn't move, and he gets a whistle.
Well, Mike Bossy has certainly been very quiet the last few games. You know, when a player doesn't get good scoring chances, and there's something wrong. You know, you can't always score goals, but you still have to come up with those good scoring chances. Bossy hasn't been able to do that.
Islanders with a man advantage. Back to the line it comes, and Bob Bourne. They shove the rebound. Bossy! Well, you never got the words out of their mouth, Gary.
You must have heard me.
Bossy was there with the rebound. That is a power play goal at 31 seconds. And it's 2-2.
Well, just like I was saying, you have to get those chances to put them in. Look at the position Bossy has, goes for the rebound, and he makes no mistake. It looked like a knuckleball, but it did find its way in the net for a power play goal.
I think it hit somebody in front of the net, but Bossy gets credit for it. And obviously, if it did hit somebody, it had to be a Buffalo Sabre.
Bobby must have heard what I said. It didn't take him long to respond.
I'll tell you it didn't.
That's the sixth of the playoffs for Mike Bossy from Bob Bourne.
Well, look at all the time that Pearson had to get that shot away. Clark Gillies in front. He has Schoenfeld tied up. There's the shot. I don't know if Sauvé got a piece of that. We still couldn't tell. In any event, there's your goal scorer, Mike Bossy. He has tied this game. That's his 6th playoff goal.
And it comes at 31 seconds on that power play. It's a 2-2 tie. What a hockey game tonight in Game 6. Here they come again, breaking in, right back in front of the net, and it's cleared away. Eric Smith getting back quickly to break it up in front of his own net, and McKechnie gets it up to center. Too far. Pache turning. I'll tell you, the Islanders have come to life now as we start this second period. They're really flying. Langevin threw a check into his man. Pache, a long pass to the other side. Smith missed that pass and went in behind him. Pearson just cleared it back into his own zone. Langevin's pass down to the wing, and here's Bob Bourne again. He was bumped up the line. Standing up there was Bill Height. Height comes right back for Buffalo. He couldn't go in very far. A minute and a half gone in the second period. Score tied at 2. Here's Clark. Howitt down the left wing. Howitt, or rather Gillies, he jammed the brakes on, then threw it over this way, and it went by in front of Sauvé. McKechnie comes out. Left it for Gare. And Gare just left it on that far side, and Height just threw it in. The checking becoming very, very close. Smith played it inside the line, and let me tell you, he was belted. The Islanders had to hustle back. That's Big Gillies. Played it on the boards to the center ice area. Lane stopped a high shot. They've hit 2 minutes of this second period. Score tied at 2. Van Boxmeer back inside his own blue line. Up to Rupp, down on the wing. It went too far, and Billy Smith out of the net that cleared back of the goal. Gordy Lane ahead to Gillies. Gillies pass, didn't get out of the zone. Here's a chance for Rupp lining up. That shot's got the rebound to Perreault. Oh! And Billy Smith stopped Perreault on that chance. Gillies. Long shot off the boards, and the Islanders are changing now. That's Ramsey, bumped back of his own net. Van Boxmeer up to Rupp. Rupp sailing in with Perreault, catching up. Here's Rupp. He nearly got through, but he was stopped in time by Bob Lorimer. Back into the corner. Kennelly's pass went too far for Sutter. Buffalo Sabres shoot it back in at the 3-minute mark of the second period. It's a 2-2 tie with Tonelli leaving it there, and Playfair just played it up on the left side. Now Mongrain going into the zone. Mongrain passed in front of Martin, and Martin was stopped right in front of the net and couldn't get a shot. Here's Nystrom coming back. His pass was blocked. He got it back again, but Merrick was inside the line and offside. Tonight's Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island.
Canadian Tire has the tires you need. Radial tires, snow tires, off-road tires, small tires, truck tires, tractor tires. We made our name selling quality tires at sensible prices, backed by our 5-year road hazard warranty. We can fit just about every kind of car or truck with the right tire at the right price.
We can do it. It's for people like you. Canadian Tire.
You see Lindy Rupp, you know, he was in the corner there, got the high stick. He was checking over his teeth, see if they were all there.
John Pell gets away from a check, goes up over the line. He was bumped by Potvin. Carrying on as Martin. He couldn't pick it up. Merrick played it on the board. Tonelli tried to move it out of the zone. The Islanders having some difficulty now. The Sabres are pulling out all the stops and forechecking. It went by Tonelli down the ice. Here's Merrick racing in. Shot! That was just wide. Coming out with Sauvé to cut the angle. Nearing the 4-minute mark of this second period, they're going hard at it both ways. The score tied at 2. Again, Tonelli missed the pass. Dunn feeds it off on the right side. Coming in, stealing, breaking for the net. Mongrain couldn't flip it in. He went in after it, a high stick. And now we're getting a penalty, a hooking call. And it looks like Potvin is going off again.
Well, we've seen a lot of interference and hooking penalties tonight. Both teams are guilty of it. And you know, when you look at the way this game has been going on, Bob, it looks like it will certainly be decided on the power play tonight. What a good move that Sealing makes here. There's the hook from behind. And that'll give the Sabres that power play opportunity again. And, you know, you look at Gilles Perreault. He's getting a lot of ice time tonight.
Potvin for hooking at 4:02. I'm Bob Cole along with Gary Dornhofer, Dan Kelly, Dave Hodge here for Game 6 at the Nassau Coliseum in New York. And we've got a dandy going tonight for you. Here's Dunn from the blue line. Played it up along the boards, and Danny Gare gets set to move it back. He did to Dunn. Dunn back in for Gare. He can't shoot it. Comes back for Dunn. Dunn. He was forced to pass it over on the far side. Van Boxmeer gives it back to him. Dunn again takes a look at Big John Van Boxmeer. Can he get it over there? No. He goes to the slot. It comes back from Gare to Dunn. Gare went flying. He got back on his skates. Gives it to Dunn again. They can't get a shot away. A beautiful box set up by the Islanders. Now Dunn with a drive. And more or less out of frustration, he threw it wide of the net. And the Islanders shoot it down the ice. A minute and 18 seconds left in Potvin hooking penalty. Score tied at 2. Look at him go now. Gilbert Perreault waltzing through center ice. Here he is coming up over the line. Spins around near the blue line. Still in control though. He skates across the line, leaves it there. Van Boxmeer's shot, and that hit Perreault back in the net. Here's Perreault again. What a marvelous shift he's having now. Back to the line, Schoenfeld. Back in for Perreault along the boards. Back to Van Boxmeer. Shot! Blocked by Billy Smith. And let me tell you, we're seeing playoff hockey at its very best.
Now you see the broken stick. Actually, for the last 10 seconds, Billy Smith, he just had the one in that he was hanging on to. And one thing he was looking for, there you see him, is for that face-off. What an opportune time to try to get a low shot away that he can't handle with that glove. Van Boxmeer, he gets that high shot away, and Smith was able to cover up. But you notice how effective that Perreault is when he's able to carry the puck, and you give him that skating room. He was able to penetrate and get across that zone.
Here comes the shot from the line.
There's the half of the stick that he's hanging on to. You know, with the Islanders playing those two front men way up close to the fence, what an opportune time to just lay a little dump pass in the slot area. That'll close up the box a little more.
He's the one player, a goaltender, who of course can play with a broken stick without suffering a penalty. Minor penalty.
You were reading your rule book, Mr. Cole.
I hope so. Score tied at 2 here in the second period. They're nearing the 6-minute mark. You never did that, Gary.
What, read the rule book?
Well, pay attention to what you were reading. Or maybe you did. Face-off is inside the line, and they're getting a little anxious in there now. It's dropped in. Comes back near the line. Ramsey waited for it, but Schoenfeld ahead of him. Now along the board, Schoenfeld. He whipped it in front. It hit a skate and bounced away from the net. 34 seconds left in the penalty. Here it is right in front again. McKechnie going in after it. McKechnie gets it back near the line, and it missed Schoenfeld, and it goes down the ice. 22 seconds left in Potvin's penalty. Score tied at 2. They're nearing the 6-minute mark of the second period. Here's Rupp shooting one in on the boards. It comes around on this side. Smith was bumped hard back there by Lorimer. In the corner, Henning. And Henning will shoot it down the ice. He put it right on the net. Now Potvin steps back on. They've killed the penalty, these Islanders. And the 15,000 or so are on their feet applauding as they call the play near center ice. This is Stanley Cup 80 from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island.
Why don't we discuss it over beer?
You gotta have heart. You gotta have heart. Miles and miles and miles of heart. Miles of heart. If you're gonna brew a beer with great taste, there's only one place to start. Molson Light has got heart. It's got heart. Molson Light has got heart.
Join the movement to light.
There it is, the time remaining of the second period. 13:52. The score tied at 2. What a hockey game here at the Nassau Coliseum in New York. Here's Savard coming up looking for it. Didn't pick it up. Nystrom threw it by everybody into the zone. Playfair went back of the net. Coming in, Gordon Lane intercepting. He left it for Tonelli, but they checked him immediately. Savard trying to move it out for Buffalo. A shot from the line by Morrow was set aside. They go in on the boards. Now here's Merritt closing in. It comes right back to the line. Here's Morrow, and his shot knocked down. That scramble, a mad scramble for it. And Bob Sauve had to be very careful, and of course, the Sabres come around quickly. That's Mongrain, number 25, protecting the goaltender, Bob Sauve. But look at the fans now. They're coming to their feet again, and they're cheering on these Islanders. having gone behind on 2 quick goals by Perreault, 2-0. They have come back. They're fighting hard, and they've now tied it, and look at this action.
Just a little wrist shot. Again, look at the position in front of the net. Nystrom, who is really solid along the boards and in front of the net. In fact, this line has been very dominant from the Islanders tonight. Merrick, Tonelli, Nystrom. You know, Tonelli and Nystrom, you know, both big guys able to handle themselves in the corners, and that's the type of job that they're doing, constantly in the Sabres zone.
And now back to the live action. They get ready to drop it into the right of Bob Sauvé. Here it is. Islanders keep it in. Langevin from the line, winding up. The low shot was deflected, and Sauvé has to cover up. It goes along the boards, and the Sabres are forced to shoot it down the ice. That'll be an icing call with Pearson back to pick it up, and here they go again, these fans. They're marvelous, Gary. That has to do something for the team, especially when you see yourself behind early in a hockey game by 2 goals. It's such an important game, and then come back to tie it, and the fans are right there.
Look, the Islanders have come too far. They know they don't want to go into that 7th game. They're going to keep working, and it shows by the way both teams are playing, the intensity. Every single guy going out there doing a job. You notice players falling in front of pucks, diving for pucks. You know that you're in the playoffs when you see that kind of action.
Well, they get set for the draw deep in the Sabres zone to the right of Bob Sauvé with 13:02 remaining in the 2nd period. Perreault on again, but Gillies gets his shot away. Here's Sutter centering out right in the crease it comes. They stop away at it. And big Clark Gillies, they jump. No, it went in the net. But wait a minute, the whistle had gone. Sutter, Clark Gillies, they were all driving for it. Sauvé was down, and he is very busy here in this 2nd period.
Well, just prior to that, the Sabres had iced the puck. Scotty Bowman figured what a great time to change lines, get a fresh unit out there. So he puts out Perreault, Martin, and Sealing. But the Islanders, they keep forcing in there. They keep pressing. You know, you want to let that big guy out there, Clark Gillies. You want to keep him sleeping, but he's got the spirit of things. Look at him there working in front of the net. You ever wake that guy up and get him going, it's a tough night.
Well, Gillies had a chance right there, right in front of the net, and as you saw, he fanned on that backhand attempt. Here's a drive, forehand now, and that was wide. Lorimer comes in from the blue line. He was bumped around a little bit on the far side. Sealing for Buffalo, look out. Gillies hit him hard, and the Sabres will clear it now. Don Luce breaks in over the line with Richard Martin. Martin shot. Oh, and he whistled that one wide of the net. Van Boxmeer threw it in the zone, but 3 Islanders bring it out. This is Gillies on the fly. There's Gillies going for the net, centered it, and nobody can touch it. Putman shot, knocked down Gillies again. And the Sabres cover up, but they're not out. Goring low, and his bullet shot was wide. Falling on it is Van Boxmeer. Now it's called for a face-off in the Buffalo zone. It's to the left of Sauvé. The fans were calling for a penalty, of course, on Van Boxmeer, who reached out to grab the puck, or Schoenfeld. He did not put his glove on the puck. Of course, you have to close your hand on the puck.
Well, you'll see it again. Schoenfeld is without a stick. What a good steal there. Again, you notice the scrambling for it. There's a little play. Try to tuck it under you. Sutter, he keeps jabbing away, trying to pry the puck loose, but to no avail.
Wow, what action here in this Game 6 at the Nassau Coliseum in New York.
You know,
I'm Bob Cole along with Gary Dornhofer, Dan Kelly, and Dave Hodge, and we've got a humdinger going tonight. We've got 12-12 remaining of the 2nd period. The score is tied at 2. From the draw, the Islanders inside the line. They've been forcing the play in the 2nd period. There's Crutchet running into Dunn. Then he went flying. The puck in the mesh back of the goal. And the play is called with 12:02 remaining in this period.
Well, the Sabres are spending too much time in their own zone now. You know, you never figure Crutchet to be very effective taking the man out. He's awfully strong, but so is Richie Dunn. You notice the exchange of 2 good hits right there.
Okay, here's the draw. Now to the left side of Sauvé. And Dunn hops in back to the net. He left it for Bill Height. Sabres trying to move it out, and Ruff gets away. 1 man back, Perreault catching up. Here's Perreault! And a beautiful save by Billy Smith. A Gilbert Perreault, who was bidding for number 3 in this game for Buffalo, and the go-ahead goal. But Billy Smith comes up very, very big.
Well, that's been his most difficult save of this period. He hasn't had nearly the work that Sauvé has had. But what a good backhand pass by Lindy Ruff. Perreault streaking down the wing. Smith came out, cut down the angle, and make the save.
Well, a bit of sweat right there for Arbor back of the bench with Perreault, who's been very hot in this hockey game when he's given an opportunity. That time he came flying in on the left wing. And as you point out, Gary, a beautiful pass on the backhand by Ruff. It was a 2-on-1, and Perreault was set up beautifully, but Smith had him taped and cut the angle. Score tied at 2. We're in the Islander zone. It's cleared back to the net by Morrow. In the corner. Moved out by Lane, but not across the line. It's kept in. Now Lane will try it one more time. Up high on the glass, it went to Bourne, and he was bumped to the ice right away. Here's Ruff getting set, and his shot knocked away by Billy Smith. Now Lane will clear it. The Islanders come to center. Trottier shoots along one end. Coming after it is Bossy from this side. It was hooked away from Bossy and cleared back to the line with Perreault speeding out to center ice. Here he is. Great moves by Perreault, but he overskates it this time. Back for Merrick. Merrick going in with Pearson. He gets set now, the shot, and that's knocked away by Sauvé, and it's cleared off the boards down the ice. Bossy slaps it back inside the Buffalo line. Here's Schoenfeld back of the net. He can't move it out. Great forechecking now by the New York Islanders. Finally, Buffalo shooting it down the ice, and it'll be icing against Buffalo. With a score, Buffalo 2 and the New York Islanders 2. This is Stanley Cup 80.
If your lawn's a jungle, your string trimmer better be a Homelite. Gas-powered to outwork, outreach, and outmaneuver any electric. To cut a wider swath and advance cutting string automatically at a trigger's touch. The Homelite gasoline string trimmer, and only 7 1/4 pounds. King of the jungle. So advanced, it can only be a Homelite.
Now it's my pleasure at this point in the hockey game to turn it over to Dan Kelly. Dan, it's a great game. Go get him.
Thank you, Bob Cole. Good evening, everyone. A 2-2 tie. 10:49 left in the second period. Outstanding playoff action. Nystrom trying to center one. Broken up. Gare trying to get it out of the zone for Buffalo. Did to center ice. And the Islanders, Pearson, feeds to Merrick, number 11, who tried to flip it in, and it's up over the glass and into the crowd.
Well, Mr. Kelly, I'll tell you, have you ever seen action like this?
Gary, I was about to say when Bob introduced me, we've seen some outstanding Stanley Cup playoff action this year. This may be the best. And that's saying something after a Minnesota-Montreal series and the Flyers and some of their victories. But this has been outstanding, and it's still up for grabs. Here's Pearson for Merrick, number 11. Back into Langevin, number 26. 2-2 the score. Pearson working it out on left wing to Tonelli. Number 27, John Tonelli. Into a bad angle, centered it. Smith cleared it away. Pearson shot. Stopped at the defense, and then Sauvé came out and covered up and held on.
It's a solid center iceman, still wearing that shield. Had that eye injury and continues to wear that. But you always have to have strength down the middle with Trottier and Goring. Wayne Merrick gives them that third good center iceman.
Face-off will be in the Buffalo zone to the left of Bob Sauvé. The Sabre goaltender. Sauvé, number 28. A 1.77 goals against average in the Stanley Cup playoffs coming into this game. Ready on a face-off. Here is Mike Ramsey, number 23. Fired it out on right wing for McClanahan. Now ahead for Mongrain. Lorimer takes him out of the play. Lorimer, number 4, around on the boards for Howitt. Howitt leaving it for Lorimer. Lorimer into the Sabre zone, broken up. Now Dennis Potvin flipping it back in. Here's Richie Dunn clearing it around in the boards. Richard Martin drops it back to the net for Dunn. Now McClanahan for the Sabres, number 15. To Martin. Martin to McClanahan. Number 15, Rob McClanahan, wrist shot off a skate and wide of the net as it hit Lorimer. Here's Potvin for the Islanders. The New York captain to Henning. He fires it on the boards into the Sabres zone. Young Mike Ramsey, the 19-year-old rookie, leads a three-man rush to center. Into Mongrave. Tipped it in front. Cleared away by the goaltender Smith. Islanders Goring trying to get out of the zone. Works it at center to Bourne. Bourne in on left wing. Sauvé slides out to make a save. Penalty coming up. Lorimer scores! Lorimer! And the Islanders have the lead 3-2.
Well, it was just a matter of time. You can't spend the whole period in your own zone. But you know who made the play all possible was Gary Howitt. The way he stretched out to stay onside. It looked like he was going to go offside when Bob Bourne carried the puck. It's out of your play. You can't see it. There's Bourne coming in. Sauvé makes a great save. To watch Lorimer come in from his defensive position and fire the puck home.
The penalty had been called, so that nullifies the penalty.
Boy, what speed there by Bob Bourne. And he sets up Lorimer perfectly. Wrist shot. That's all it took. Beat Sauvé on the short side. But I thought it was the real good play by Gary Howitt. You know, it was a 2-on-1 break. It looked like Howitt was going to go offside. He stretched out to keep that skate on his side of the blue line, allowed Bourne to penetrate the zone.
The scoring play, Lorimer, his first of the playoffs from Bourne and Goring at 11-11.
Rick Sealing, 2 minutes for delay of game.
And Sealing as well gets a delay of game penalty on the same play. Stanley Cup 80 will continue in a moment.
11-11. There's nothing like it.
I smile a lot because I meet so many smiling people picking up Kentucky Fried Chicken. Everybody tells me how good it tastes. I'm proud to serve it. And Kentucky Fried Chicken is so economical.
And that's a fact.
And you know only 1 chicken in 3 can meet the Colonel's standards.
There's nothing like the way you boys and girls make your finger licking good.
There's nothing like it. Thank you, Colonel.
Good chicken.
On the same play as the goal by Lorimer, Rick Sealing gets a delay of game penalty at 11-11. So he did something after the goal had been scored and gets a delay of game penalty. Did he shoot the puck up into the crowd or what? I didn't see.
I didn't either. I was watching the expression on Bob Sauvé's face, but this turns out to be a big part of this hockey game right here in the power play.
3-2, Islanders lead, and they're on the power play now as Trottier fired it in. Back is Sauvé to play it off the boards, back to center. Bourne, number 14 for the Islanders. Over to Trottier, lets Gillies take over. Gillies tied up by Height, and Savard then cleared it away. Here's Dennis Potvin to Lorimer. Over on right wing for Trottier. Fires one in. Savard takes Bourne out of the play. Comes to Bossy, into Bourne. Bourne, number 14. Back to Bossy, shooting, and that hit a skate and went wide. Here's Bourne. Bourne from the corner on this Islander power play to Trottier. Brian Trottier to the point to Bossy. Back to Trottier. Into the side of the net for Bourne, out in front, backhander high off the glass. Here's Potvin on the Islander power play. Over to Bossy. Back to Dennis Potvin. Centered one, and Height is there to clear it away, and the Sabres have a 2-on-1 break. Loose with Savard. Loose to Savard, and he was tied up by Trottier, who'll get a penalty. A 2-on-1 that Trottier takes a penalty on to break up. And now each team will be a man short. Live from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island, the Stanley Cup playoffs.
What's it take to brew a great light beer?
Join the movement to light.
Trache in the penalty box for holding at 12:31, and each team will be a man short.
Well, it was a 2-on-1, and the way those shorthanded goals have been going, Trache takes the man out, was caught on the play for holding. That'll nullify the penalty, and in 40 seconds, the Sabres will have a minute and 20-second power play.
Rick Sealing is the man who is in the box for Buffalo. 3-2, Islanders lead. Face-off in the New York zone. Here's Morrow, number 6. Morrow trying to get away from Perreault. Comes to center to Tonelli. Number 27, hard-working John Tonelli to Lane. Shoots one wide. And over on the left wing is Perreault, number 11. He's been fantastic tonight. His shot off of Morrow and wide to the net. Gare behind the goal, tried to center. Broken up in Tonelli for the Islanders. Gets it to center. Mike Ramsey gives it to Van Boxmeer. Back to Ramsey, number 23. To Van Boxmeer. Now to Perreault. He couldn't handle it. Here's Morrow to Mira. Sealing is back on. Islanders are shorthanded. Buffalo now at full strength as Van Boxmeer works it to Gare. Gare tied up on the boards. Myrick in there to Tonelli. John Tonelli spun around and knocked down, and now Gare circles back. The Sabres team captain Danny Gare to Perreault. Perreault over to Ramsey. 55 seconds left in the Islander penalty. Sabres can't get it out of their own zone as Henning and Goring with some outstanding penalty killing. Goring dumps it back in. Van Boxmeer for the Sabres. Over on the boards to Gare. Back to John Van Boxmeer, number 5. At center to Gare. Gare tied up by Goring, and then it's cleared away by Lorimer. Henning had it for a moment. He's checked. Rick Sealing, number 16, with 25 seconds left in the penalty to the Islanders. Here's Gare. Moves it in front. Perreault tried to drop it back off a skate, and Goring feeds to Henning, number 10. Lauren Henning. Off balance, then centered one, but intercepted, and Sealing away to center for the Sabres. Rick Sealing trying to make a play. Whips it into Martin. Martin trying to get it in front as Trache comes back on. The Islanders have killed it off. Here's Henning after a loose puck. And he's taken out of the play by Dunn and Schoenfeld. Headmans it to Richard Martin, number 7. Martin into McKegney. Shoots one. Oh, a big save with the goal stick by Billy Smith. And he held on to it. This Stanley Cup playoff game is coming to you from the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island.
Weather. Oxidation. They can kill your car's finish. Beat them with the new Polyshell system from Turtle Wax. The Polyshell system. 3 protective layers of polymers and silicones that bond to your car. Plus a reactivator applied every 6 months for 24 months shine and protection. Get 3 layers of brilliant protection. The Polyshell system from Turtle Wax.
Second intermission, I'll talk to Ken Morrow of the Islanders, to Gary Dornhofer for his thoughts of the first 2 periods, and to Coach Pat Quinn of the Philadelphia Flyers, waiting to meet the winner of this series. 5 minutes and 10 seconds left in the second period. 3-2 Islanders. Lorimer, Bossy, and Tonelli have scored for the Islanders. Gilbert Perreault with a pair has taken care of the Sabres scoring. One time Buffalo led 2-0. Here's Richard Martin, a quick wrist shot wide. Now Height held it in for Buffalo. McKegney back to the net, takes his man out of the play. Persson passing to Bossy, who is checked. Now Persson, number 7, the Swedish defenseman, into the Sabres zone. Trying to feed it over. McKegney intercepts to Martin. He's tied up at center. Howitt dropping it back into his own zone to number 26, Langevin.
Now to Pearsall. Stepan Pearsall. Into the Sabre zone, and it's offside at the Buffalo blue line.
Well, there's a mix-up. And a lot of the guys getting involved there in the corner. There was a change. Nystrom has just skated back to his player's box. He was ready to join in.
Richard Martin in the middle of it for Buffalo.
Scotty Bowman continues to chew on the ice, pacing back and forth. Al Arbour pacing again. You can't get the game any closer than what we have right now, both coaches. Serious young lady.
14,995 the attendance here tonight. Islanders leading 3-2. No penalties, I don't believe, on the play, just a skirmish in the corner. And now Schoenfeld and Trottier.
You know, one time they were both talking to Van Hellemond, and then they started shoving each other, and
now we're going to have penalties.
Now he's going to send them both off. As Trottier, he's a fiery player. He won't take anything from anybody. He'll take it and dish it out as well. Of course, for the Sabres, they can't afford to lose another game, or it's all over for them. The way this game has materialized tonight, Dan, you wonder if they'll have anything left for the Philadelphia Flyers, who are back in Philly now, just probably taking in this game and resting up.
Schoenfeld and Trottier get delay of game penalties for their pushing match, just as play was ready to resume. 15:26 the time of the penalties. Islanders with a 3-2 lead. The Islanders with a victory here tonight would move into the Stanley Cup Finals against Philadelphia. If the Sabres win, then a seventh game would be back in Buffalo on Tuesday night.
Well, you got to give the Islanders a lot of credit. 2 goals down, and they hung in there. And it's that extra effort that you're looking for, and they came up with it, and it resulted in 3 straight goals.
Islanders leading 3-2. 4:34 left in the second period. Gilbert Perreault is out on right wing with the rookie Mongrain at center. Each team a man short. Here's Dunn for Buffalo to Van Boxmeer. John Van Boxmeer, the ex-Colorado Rocky, flips it in. Lane is back to get it. Now on right wing to Nystrom, number 23. Nystrom against Dunn. Nystrom takes the hit, goes to the corner, then tied up by 2 Buffalo players and manages to force a face-off in the Buffalo end of the rink. Ken Morrow, one of the U.S. Olympic players, and Dave Hodge will chat with the native of Flint, Michigan, who played college hockey at Bowling Green University.
You know, he handles the puck so well, and Al Arbour, he likes to see him get involved more in the offensive flow as he does the other defensemen. You know, if you got a chance to go, why not go in there if you get that puck, as long as one of your forwards covers up that position that you vacated.
People like Morrow and Ramsey and McClanahan have a chance of playing at a gold medal winner and a Stanley Cup winner in the same year. Here's Morrow's shot. Deflects wide, and Perreault for the Sabres. Upended by Merrick, but breaks loose, and Perreault with some fancy stick handling leads a 3-man rush. Moves it into Dunn. Shoots one, and Smith got a piece of that, and Van Boxmeer at the point couldn't hold it in. Now Nystrom into the Buffalo zone. Nystrom is checked, and back comes Mongrain. Shoots one, a stick save by Smith. Here's Perreault. Flipped it in behind the net. Morrow, number 6. 3.5 minutes left in the second period. Merrick to Nystrom. Nystrom on the boards against Mike Ramsey, who tied him up, and back comes Rick Sealing, number 16. Sealing leaving it for Don Luce. His wrist shot right on. Smith made the save and fanned on it as he went to clear it and had to reach back and grab it and hold on.
Bob Nystrom, after a slow start of the regular season. Has certainly come on strong in the playoffs. I don't know, it seems to bring the best out of certain players when they get into playoff time, and that's what it's all about. Each round you win, you get a little closer. Number 23, and then of course Mike Ramsey also wearing 23 for the Sabres.
He's another of the people who could, in 1 year, play on a gold medal winner and a Stanley Cup winner.
You think the Flyers have something to say about that?
Yeah, oh yeah. I said could. So did the Islanders. Here's Bourne. Back of the goal for Dennis Potvin. Potvin, the Islander captain, to Henning, number 10. Henning in on left wing for Bourne. Bourne checked by Height. Height feeds it out to Don Luce. Luce and Sealing with a 2-on-2 break for Buffalo. Luce to Sealing. Sealing trying to get around the defense. Lorimer tied him up. Height a quick wrist shot wide by a couple of feet. And then the Islanders clear it to Henning. Height checks him. Now Bourne. Penalized players are back on. Here's Bourne tied up by Luce. And Height has it for the Sabres. To Ramsey, number 23. Mike Ramsey, poke check by Lorimer, and here's Gillies clearing one to center. Picked up by Henning. Lead pass to Trocheck. Sauvé out of the net to poke it away. And Ramsey for the Sabres plays it off the boards for Derek Smith, number 19. Smith trying to leave it for Gare. Broken up and cleared by Persson. Gillies now flipping one to Sutter, number 12. He dumps it in. Less than 2 minutes to play in the second period. Gare for the Sabres. Trying to hit Smith with a pass. It comes to center. Persson for the Islanders. Over to Langevin. Now to Goring. Sutter on right wing. Schoenfeld ties him up. Goring over to help out to Gillies in the corner. Gillies centers. Goring shot high off the glass. Sutter and Playfair in the corner. Comes to Langevin at the point. Fired it back into the corner. Sutter and Playfair are still there. Here's Goring. And Schoenfeld slides across to check Goring and frees the puck for a faceoff in the Buffalo zone.
Well, something that Schoenfeld has been doing all game and all year, blocking those shots. And you know, the players by now, they should know that he's going to go down and just hesitate for a second, wait till he falls to the ice, and then make your play. You'll see Goring in the corner. There comes Schoenfeld. Down he goes. Just hesitate for a second. Draw the puck away from him and then try to set up. Especially when you're going for the shot on the net.
Scotty Bowman.
Very happy right
next
now.
year he will not be doing any coaching. He'll confine his duties to being general manager. He said 13 years as a coach. That's enough. Here's Langevin's shot. Bouncing in behind the net, Sauvé setting it up there, and back comes Smith. Howitt knocked it down. Now down to McKegney into the Islander zone. He's checked. McKegney gets it again to Smith. Now Gare a shot, and that went wide. Less than a minute to play in the second period. Gary Howitt for the Islanders. To Bossy. Round on the boards to Langevin. Rink wide pass to Persson. Persson to Langevin. At center for Howitt. The net's a two-line offside pass, and the faceoff will be back inside the Islander blue line with 41 seconds left in the second period.
As we see Gary Howitt going to the box, how about this Scotty Bowman? You know, we were talking today about superstition. He is a very superstitious guy. Tell some of the things that he carries with him.
Well, he carries a miraculous medal that he says helped him win a few Stanley Cups in Montreal. Has a comb that was bought in where? Mexico, that he lost.
Collects pennies. He's up to about 15 pennies that he's found so far.
Won't sleep on the 13th floor of a hotel. Here's a shot by Nystrom and a save. Puck back to the goal. Now around on the boards, Dunn clearing it for Rupp. Lindy Rupp trying to set up Perreault. Lane at center for the Islanders. Cleared it back. Here's Dunn. Nystrom breaks that up. 15 seconds left in the period. Schoenfeld to Rupp, number 22. Lindy Rupp slides it in. Back is Morrow for the Islanders. He cleared it on the boards.
Sabres drop it back. Dunn can't hold it in, and that's going to end the period. And the second period comes to an end with the goal by Bob Lorimer, plus one by Mike Bossy, turning the game around and giving the Islanders the lead. Buffalo had 9 shots in the period. Islanders had 10. And so the score at the end of the second period, the New York Islanders 3, the Buffalo Sabres 2.
30, 40, 50. Now, the LWT series from North Star. Their style is born from function. Built to breathe because your feet breathe. Built to flex because your feet flex. Built light so your feet can fly. Heels that flare, soles that grip on impact. The LWT series from North Star. Keeping up with your feet.
Name's Bob Riley. Been a professional guide going on 30 years. Spent half my life fishing Old Horseshoe Lake. Fish bite here like no place else. So do the bugs. So I pack a pro, Deep Woods Off. 'Cause around here, black flies and mosquitoes got teeth like a chainsaw. But Deep Woods Off's tougher. It's 100% repellent. Take it from old Bob. Deep Woods Off works. It's made by pros, used by pros.
Things go better when you and Coke get together.
Things like a summer job.
Everybody's looking.
The entire drive.
Hey, I need down first.
After a good day.
Closing time.
Working up thirst.
Coca-Cola has.
Across the sea from Germany comes Ford Fiesta, a little wonder car. Fiesta with front-wheel drive and steel-belted radials for superb, sure-footed traction. Rack and pinion steering for precise handling. Quick acceleration and a combined city highway fuel economy rating of 36.2 mpg. Fiesta, front-wheel drive, fuel efficient. Sold and serviced by Ford and Mercury dealers across Canada.
The New York Islanders were down 2-0, and now they're ahead, 3-2. The tying goal in that period on the power play by Mike Bossy, and the go-ahead goal, the first of this year's playoffs by defenseman Bob Lorimer. The Islanders outshot Buffalo again 10-9. The count now after 2 periods, 20-15 in favor of New York. My guest's face was a familiar one throughout the U.S. Olympic team's victory at the Lake Placid Games, and for Ken Morrow, that must seem like a long time ago.
Yeah, it was. We started tryouts were at the end of July, and we've been going ever since.
Now, it brings up the matter of the long season, something that you've never experienced playing college hockey. Do you find yourself tired physically now?
Yeah, a little bit. Sometimes when I go out to practice, you know, it seems like a long grind, but then, you know, a couple days before the game, you get right back up into the swing again.
How about a mental strain? I would think that might be the toughest of the two things that you have to deal with.
Yeah, once you're in shape, you know, you stay there, but like you say, the mental strain, you know, going through those 2 weeks in Lake Placid and then coming right in, you know, I only had 4 days off. I was hoping for a little more, but I'm kind of glad I didn't have that all that time off now, because I think I would have got, you know, out of the swing.
When you were described, the word most often used is poise. I wonder how you interpret that, whether you feel as though you're calm when you're playing the game, because it certainly looks that way.
Well, I am. I've had people tell me I'm lazy and a little bit slow out there, but that's the way I play. And, you know, I don't know whether it's poise. I'm nervous inside, but, you know, maybe I just have the confidence out there that I need.
Another very important thing that you use well is your reach. We've seen in people like Larry Robinson in this league how important that can be. And I assume that you pattern your game knowing that that is something you can do.
Right. You know, a lot of times you'll see me, I'll give the guy a lot of room to the outside, and, you know, hopefully, you know, by the time he tries to go around my stick, you know, I can force him into the corner boards.
Do you lie awake at night or walk around in the daytime thinking about a gold medal in the Stanley Cup in 1 year?
Oh, yeah, it's in the back of my mind. But, you know, I've tried to put what's happening in the Olympics behind me and just think ahead to, you know, the Stanley Cup right now.
There are reminders of the Olympics, though, even in this series. You're playing against Mike Ramsey and Rob McClanahan, two of your teammates at Lake Placid. Have you had any sort of a chance to reunite except on the ice?
Not really. I've talked to him a little bit off the ice, maybe for about 5 minutes or so, but we're hoping to get together this summer. the whole team's going to get together and maybe every 4 years have a reunion.
Now, the physical part of this series, the advantage would seem to be with the Islanders. Has Al Arbour stressed that? Because in this game, as the game has gone on, it has seemed to me that the Islanders have been more physical, and why not, considering the injuries in Buffalo?
Yeah, right. And Buffalo's a skating team, and I think the only way you're going to slow them down is just to keep rubbing them out. You know, you don't have to really hit them hard and make it hurt. You just got to keep rubbing them into the boards, and it slows them down.
Bob Lorimer's now tied you in playoff goals. He scored one, a very big one here, and you had an overtime goal in the first round against Los Angeles, one you'll remember for a long time, I'm sure.
Sure, but it was a typical Ken Morrow goal. I shot about 10 feet wide, and it bounced off somebody skating right behind the goalie.
They put a 1 beside that in the statistics. Ken, congratulations for all you did at Lake Placid and for what you're doing now for the Islanders.
Thank you very much.
Ken Morrow of the New York Islanders. Gary Dornhofer's comments on the first 2 periods. Great hockey for 40 minutes. Coming up next, Stanley Cup 80 continues in just a moment.
It's here, now, from Everready, the Energizer, energy source of the 80s. To drive, to power, to energize the new world around you. A remarkable world of electronic devices. A world that needs all the energy of the Energizer. Energy source of the 80s. Look, when ordinary carbon batteries are dead and gone, the Energizer lives on. In toys like this, the C-size Energizer runs 790% as long as ordinary batteries. 790%. For this new electronic world, the Energizer. Energy source of the 80s from Everready.
The Energizer, energize for life.
Longer life.
In the world of photographic art, Nikon, Pentax.
The one by Bob Lorimer that put the Islanders in front, but I think that a very key play in this game was John Tonelli's goal. The Sabres had just gone ahead 2-0, and a little more than a minute later, Tonelli scored. I had the feeling that at 2-0, if the game had continued like that, or if the Sabres certainly had got another one, they might have been home free. But the Tonelli goal seemed to turn things around, even though the Islanders had to wait till the second period to tie it and go ahead.
Well, especially when Tonelli was in the slot area and 3 Sabres were standing around. They watched Sutter behind the net. You know, all the eyes were focused on Sutter. Nobody turned around to have a look at Tonelli, and he was right there as soon as they got a hold of it. Let it go right between Sauvé's legs, and you could just see the momentum starting to switch over to the Islanders. And you know, the type of game that they're playing now is commonly known in the trade as the grind it out. You know, they're very strong along the boards, very strong in the corners, and they're mixing it up in front of the net.
As far as the third period is concerned, how important is it that the Islanders have the lead?
I'd rather be sitting with the lead than
I realize that
than going from behind.
The way they're playing, laying on the body and trying to wear down Buffalo.
Well, they're certainly. I would think that they would go at it the same way. I've seen it happen too many times where you try to protect that 1-goal lead. Why not play the way you got to that position? You know, they started throwing that puck in, 2 men on that puck, that third man in the slot, and keep doing that. Wherever the puck is, send a man and take out the man. They're eliminating them right from the play. And to hang on and lay back, they better not do it, because the Sabres certainly have the firepower to come back if they do that.
Suddenly goaltending is important again, as it always is. Billy Smith, some fine saves to get him some confidence back.
Well, I think with the 1-day rest, or the 1-game rest that Smith had, he had a good chance to view the whole Buffalo situation, look at their players, and sit back, and he's coming into this game refreshed. That's I think a good thing to have, where you can rotate your goaltenders, you know, when they have 2 capable goaltenders.
It wasn't a good thing for Billy Smith to fall behind 2-0, but as I say, he seems to have come back well. We'll have Pat Quinn, the coach of the Philadelphia Flyers, to talk about his team and this game and this series as we return with the Stanley Cup playoffs in just a minute.
Providing their share of the family income makes a lot of sense to a lot of women these days. And so does buying life insurance. Think about your future and talk it over with a Mutual Life of Canada agent.
Life is a mutual affair.
Here, from Braun, In the domain of the rotary shaver is the Braun Micron. Look, this is the shaving area of the rotary head. The Braun Micron foil is 30% thinner for a closer, cleaner shave. The thinner the foil, the closer Braun shaves. Our design is to shave you closer than the rotary. The Braun Micron.
Why don't we discuss it over a beer? Beer.
You gotta have heart. Miles and miles and miles of heart. If you're gonna brew a beer with great taste, there's only one place to start. Molson Light has got heart. Heart. You gotta have taste. You gotta have taste to put the smile upon your face. Smile on your face when people tell you light beer is in. That's when the grin should start. Molson Light has got, Molson Light has got, Molson Light has got heart. Heart. It's got heart. Molson Light has got heart.
Join the movement to light.
The New York Islanders lead the Buffalo Sabres 3-2, and if that's the way the score looks, the Islanders ahead at the end of this game. Then the Stanley Cup Final will begin on Tuesday night, and Pat Quinn's Philadelphia Flyers have to be ready for that. Pat, you're in the enviable position of being able to watch both of your potential opponents here tonight. How important is it that your players are doing the same, that they're getting a rest?
Well, I think, I'm sure they're all sitting at home watching it, but I like the rest, 2 or 3 days. I really wish we could have started Sunday. The 7 games last time, I believe, hurt us, and I think at this stage in the season, when you've gone 9 months, the players just want to play. They want to get on with it and see if they can get us close and bring that cup home.
Now, does that indicate you would prefer to play the Islanders and start Tuesday?
No, it really didn't matter. Of course, just the way it happened. All I really wanted, regardless, we could have gone 7-2 as far as that's concerned. All I wanted was only a 3, possibly 4-day rest at most.
We talk about a couple of your players who performed so well in the series against Minnesota. Bill Barber, with all those goals to tie a record.